Okay, good evening to all colleagues. Today, I, Dr. Bharat, will present before you a case series on coronally advanced flap, which is a predictable procedure for gingival recession. So the contents I will be covering that include the introduction, case series, results, conclusion, and lastly, the differences. So let us start from the introduction first. Basically, recession refers to exposure of root surface due to apical shift in the position of the gingiva. It is a problem and even has incidence in almost 8% in even children also. We can relate the etiology as tooth position, trauma, and genetic predisposition. And the ultimate effects are basically the root sensitivity, chances of arrested caries, and finally the tooth loss. The early stages of recession are having good prognosis, and there is almost complete soft tissue regeneration. But later there is bone loss, which is accompanied with tooth mobility as well as advancement of progression of periodontal disease. There are various treatment modalities available, which include the rotational or advanced procedures or soft tissue graft procedure, which can be classified as epithelial graft or subepithelial connective tissue graft. The rotational flap procedures, they include the lateral sliding flap, double flap, and oblique flap, while the advanced flap procedures include the coronally advanced flap and semilunar flap. Besides there, we can use certain adjuncts like guided tissue regeneration, enamel matrix derivatives, chorion membrane, and lastly, the platelet concentrates like platelet-rich fibrin and platelet-rich plasma. Now, the aim of this case series is to depict the advantage of coronally advanced flap procedure. This is the first case. A 42-year-old came to the department with a chief complaint of anesthetic looks. On clinical examination, it was found that there was class 3 gingival recession with respect to 3-1 and 4-1. It was decided to perform vestibular deepening along with combination of connective tissue graft. So first of all, an arcuate incision was given. It was followed by the graft harvesting from the hard palate. The patient was recalled after 7 days and evaluation was performed after 1 and 3 months. This is another case with a single isolated recession. It was found that gingival recession was present with respect to the tooth number 2-1. In this case, two apically divergent incisions were given, which were given at the distal and median line axis of the lining mucosa. It was followed by a split thickness flap, which was always laced by then and connected by an interclavicular incision. After the blunt dissection was extended, that was mucosal graft was made tension-free while advancing to the level of the cemento-enamel junction. Then the facial and the mesial distal were also epitheliated using the curate, and the patient was evaluated after the 10 days. This is the last case in which there was chief complaint of unpleasant aesthetic looks. It was found that there were multiple recessions that were present, and it was decided to perform the Zucchelli's technique for the multiple recessions, which do not include any kind of vertical incisions. These incisions were connected by the clavicular incision and later they were stabilized by the periodontal dressing. The patient was recalled after 1 week and 3 months, and it was found that almost complete root coverage was achieved in this patient. Now coming to the result, the first case was having interproximal bone loss. As I have already mentioned, 100% coverage is possible only in class gingival recession cases. So there was almost partial coverage in class 3. However, for the other two cases, almost full coverage was achieved post-operatively after the 3 months. Now coming to the discussion, basically root coverage procedures are aimed to provide the dual task of both root coverage, that is recession coverage, and augmentation of the keratinized gingiva. The ideal outcome includes absence of the plug, adequate periodontal support, absence of horizontal vertical bone loss, and lastly, a sufficient attached gingiva to prevent recurrence at the adult stage. The history of these procedures is back to almost 20th century when it was started by the younger. Later, the trend was associated with the development of the multiple type of surgical defects for the multiple recession. These include the coronal advanced flap along with supraperiosteal envelope technique for utilizing the subepithelial connective tissue graft. Further, there were, as I have already mentioned, enamel matrix derivatives and platelet-rich concentrates were also used, which provided the attachment gain on the keratinized tissue width. Even in orthodontics also, we have used the orthodontic button, which helped in additional benefit of providing the more stability to the coronally advanced flap. Enamel matrix derivatives, they are basically the amelogenin derivatives. They provide the regeneration, and platelet concentrates, they provide a lot of I can say, regenerative factors which help in the regeneration. However, it was first used in the implant surgery by the Chokran in order to improve the bone healing. That dates back to its history. Now, in spite of that, this homogeneous fibrin basically is a good immense material, biomaterial which helps in the regeneration as well as soft tissue wound healing. All these procedures have been used in combination, and the advantage is why we have used this coronally advanced flap is its original recuperation, perfect tissue blending, and less comorbidity. This procedure is based on the coronal shift of the soft tissue, which is apical to the denuded root, with multiple variations like full thickness and partial thickness flaps. As I have already mentioned, we have used Zucchelli's technique also for the multiple recession, and one of its variant is the semilunar flap, which does not involve application of any kind of the sutures. It is comparatively less traumatic as compared to the other procedures, and besides that, there has been meta-analysis also which have used connective tissue graft or even free gingival graft in combination with it to perform the root coverage. Now, results many of the studies they show that connective tissue graft and coronally advanced flap, as earlier mentioned by Langer and Langer, still forms the gold basis for the coverage. And it was found by Baldi et al. 0.8 m is the threshold, which means that if the flap thickness or gingival thickness is less than 0.8, there may be chances of only partial coverage, whatever the level of the gingival recession is there. So it can be concluded that connective tissue graft along with coronally advanced flap, they provide good advantage as compared to simple coronally advanced flap. And even results have shown that almost 6 to 98% variation is there in terms of the clinical attachment gain. Consequently, scientific evidence is based on the well-supported reviews, and there must be future studies that have to be done to provide more insight in this. So I can say that in terms of aesthetics, it should not be the only criteria, but keratinized tissue level should also be taken into account so that there is no reoccurrence. And as I already mentioned, it is a gold standard, but in some cases comorbidities can exist, so it is not possible to always employ this technique. So there can be variations, and evaluation has to be done on the aspects of the anatomy, and it should be simplified to produce both reproducibility and decrease the cost benefit ratio, because economics sometimes also has to be considered according to the patient's achievement. Progress has to be seen in terms of class 3 and 4, which do not provide completely recovery. So I can say further research is still needed to evaluate the influence of the soft and the hard tissue attachment. So in the end, I would like to conclude that oral health maintenance is a daunting task, and it is incomplete without complete treatment of the aesthetics. The concept lies in the fact that good plaque control along with periodontal regeneration provides excellent benefits for maintaining excellent hygiene. From surgeon's point of view, presence of adequate periodontal support along with patient comprehension enhances the future prognosis. And this flag being a simple and modified also provide dual benefits of original recuperation and good color blending. These are my references. Thank you.